this event to mark the Business Association. Our work in the area of country. 5 editions in roughly as in the business and investment product, but a result of a response to the expectations in support from other relevant economy of Montenegro. The job in finding ways to provide and promote that are in charge for publication. Just to mention our German friends.
Your Excellencies, esteemed colleagues, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, in many of our numerous meetings over the last 12 months, most notably in the context of our European accession aspirations, one of the recurring themes and messages was the necessity for Montenegro to increase its visibility in Europe. A reminder to all of us that a good political dialogue and understanding, successful reforms, competitive economy, the rule of law, close negotiation chapters will eventually have to be underpinned by sustained effort and dedication of researchers on our part towards introducing the Montenegrin society further beyond our borders than we have ever attempted to do. This formidable task will require not only a whole government approach, but will need to engage the whole society as well, all its innovative, creative, entrepreneurial abilities. Looking inward, the fact that the current domestic support for our EU accession effort makes for 75% of the population is evidence that the communication efforts so far were planned and executed well. We are now expected to replicate this success in the opposite, outward direction, to persuade and turn the somewhat skeptical, concerned European public opinion in our favor. While the headline news of the past couple of decades may have not too often been in our favor, the shifting paradigm of development towards sustainability and the technological revolution underway just may be the disruptive factors and the opening to enable a break with the undesirable perception of our region's past, which we could harness to shape and communicate new realities, values, and ambitions. This would need to be anchored to a track record of decent contemporary politics able to recognize the ever-changing context and to swiftly bring to an end the long and overdue transition. While the average European in, for instance, the west or northwest of our continent could not care less about maybe the findings of a European Commission report on Montenegrin reform agenda, she or he will likely want to understand the stories behind our closely lit churches and mosques, the timid Adriatic and rugged highlands, how these shaped us, and how and why we present them in song and canvas, on film and sculpture. Instead of politics, we will need to set a center stage to tell the Europeans and the world the story of the icon of Our Lady Philomeros, the story of our dynasties, how they came to be and what they left behind, shaping us to what we are today. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has an important place in this mosaic of responsibilities and opportunities. The nature of our work implies awareness of preferred themes and possible bilateral and multilateral partnerships and resources. Likewise, it puts us in daily contact with tens of thousands of our expats living and working abroad, well integrated and esteemed in their societies. In order to make the best use of our outward competencies, we will need to do a much better job in developing and making use of internet tools. This will offer us a cost-effective, contemporary channel of communication, flexible and adaptable to local circumstances, while offering a platform for a consistent, timely, and credible information exchange. The fact that our diplomatic missions are yet to offer customized websites in countries and organizations of their responsibility illustrates that in terms of public outreach and communication, we do have to work cut out for ourselves in the next few years. All the previously mentioned is reflected in the midterm agenda of the government until 2024. Aware of its expected positive impact to our line of work to promote and increase the prominence of our country, Montenegro, we took active participation in the preparation of the strategy to develop a national brand being led by the Ministry of Economic Development and with support of the business friends whose experts provide the guidelines in developing of the draft strategy. It identifies the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as one of the principal institutions to promote the branding concepts once those are elaborated. In turn, this should enable us financial means and capabilities to finally make technological leap in terms of adequate communication and promotion channels. Obviously, efforts to promote Montenegro as an open, competitive, and business-friendly system increasingly aligned with that of the single market principles is one of the Ministry's key ambitions and tasks. This, of course, as you would know, is sometimes easier said than done, given the fact that economic diplomacy is typically a legitimate competence of several line ministries, regardless of a government structure. In a time of shifting policies intended to better adapt to the evolving domestic and foreign political agendas, creating timely and reliable messages takes a significant and constant coordination effort, both within the government and non-governmental stakeholders. Guidance and support provided by our key partners in terms of further improving the economic governance, the European Union, its member states, the United States, and key international financial organizations remain indispensable as we prepare to implement ambitious capital investment program aimed to improve the transport connectivity, provide new renewable energy sources, cleaner environment, healthcare, and educational facilities. We firmly believe that promoting these partnerships, stemming from our unwavering political commitment to fulfilling all requirements of European integration agenda, will continue to attract foreign investments and generate increased flows in trade and services necessary to achieve our ambitious goal of inclusive development. After all, in order for it to be truly and sustainable in every sense, our economy should never be too far from our leading political values, both home and abroad. In conclusion, while counting on and appreciating the continued efforts of my colleagues from the Ministry, likewise, I would like to thank also the foreign diplomats for their tireless work in promoting all aspects of our cooperation.